Hey guys, Ben here. So in this video, it's just going to be really quick, and I apologize. It is Monday. It is currently 7:20. I do apologize for the late video. I'm literally filming this right now. I'll have a better video next week. This is a stock that I got. It is perfectly white on this side. Unfortunately, since it's been out in the sun, you can see that it's yellowed on this side. Don't know how well you can tell that difference there, but I will be making a tip video on how to make this white again. I just need a chance to actually make that video. So next week will be a little bit more official, but this week I'm going to do a tip video on what kind of tools I think every modder should have. Some of them I think are more necessary than others. Some of them are just a luxury to have, but these are the ones that I have. So starting off with the Dremel. This is a 4000 Dremel. It goes up to 4200, I think, but the 4200 one is a quick detach lock thing, and that gets really bad reviews. So the 4000 Dremel is the most powerful one that you can get that still has really good reviews. I did not purchase this one. My friend got this one for me, but you can get them for like $80, I think, and it has a package that includes a bunch of stuff with it. This, I think, is a must for any modder if you're doing any sort of integration. If you're not doing any integration, then maybe this isn't quite as necessary, but I think it's still a nice tool to have. Next up, a pair of pliers always helps. This might sound really stupid, but believe it or not, I know a lot of people who don't have pliers. These are about $13. You can just go to Lowe's or something and pick up a pair. I recommend Cobalt. Simple, it's cheap, they last. So just a pair of needle nose pliers. A good set of needle nose pliers is something that can make all the difference. Another tool that is often overlooked is a razor pen. I actually have at least 3 razor pens, all varying sharpnesses. This is the dull one. I could probably run my finger across the blade if I really wanted to. It's a very dull blade, but I have other ones that are razor sharp. Like, as soon as I see any signs of it dulling, I will replace the blade. You can get replacement blades, packs of 100, for actually pretty cheap if you know where to get them. Some of them aren't as good as others, so I'll link you in the description to some replacement blades for those that I've actually done quite a bit of research on, and those are the best bang for your buck. This sounds really dumb, but this is something often overlooked and often not given a second thought, but a Sharpie is something that can be very useful. You might not have a Sharpie in your house. You might have to go out and get one. You might have a Sharpie in your house. It might be right there. Either way, I think a Sharpie is actually worth noting, especially for the stuff that I do. It sounds really dumb, but just to make a quick line before I cut gives me a rough idea of where I'm going, so I'm not getting sidetracked and I'm not accidentally cutting something that isn't meant to be cut. A quick tip, this might be obvious for some people, less obvious for others. Rubbing alcohol will take your Sharpie right off, so you're not accidentally making cuts where you shouldn't be. If you can't get it off with rubbing alcohol, take your Sharpie and draw back over it, which will wetten it back up, and then take the rubbing alcohol and try to take it off after. So that should take that off no matter what. A good set of hand files is something that is really, really useful. This is a triangular file. I'm not sure what the actual name is. Files are very, very useful, and I recommend getting a good set of them. Again, you can just go to Lowe's or something and find some small files. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but they do help. So this is definitely in the realm of luxury and not something that's necessary, but I have this little screwdriver. It's just a quick detach, and this actually has quite a bit of torque. I could drive 4-inch wood screw nails into wood without drilling a pilot hole. This has a lot of torque. That being said, it's mainly used for Nerf, and I usually keep it on the lowest setting of torque. This was $100. I will link in the description for those of you who are curious. It came with 2 batteries, the whole spiel. So why did I spend $100 on something that I'm going to be using Nerf for? Well, I'm the kind of guy who likes to think ahead, and I'm a DIY guy. This doesn't just go to Nerf. Everything I do, I built this desk, and it would have been nice to have this. So for not only Nerf, but future projects, I thought it was a good idea to invest actual money. I could have gotten a cheap $30 one, which I'll actually link in the description. I did some research on that one as well. Lots of links in the description for this video. But I could have gotten a cheap $30 one, and that would have been fine for Nerf. but I wanted to get the good one. This had all of the features that I wanted. It was very small and very compact, which was the main thing because I didn't want to have this big screwdriver hanging over my blaster for eons. It has a variable clutch, so I'm not destroying my blasters. It has a variable speed, which I did want. That's a nice feature. It does have a little light. That wasn't one of my requirements, but it's nice to have, believe it or not. I can change whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise, just that, or I can keep it in the middle and have a safety. And it's a very convenient tool to have, and I'm glad I spent the money on it just because I'm not only going to be using it for Nerf. This is a really nice tool, and it's not something that you are required to get for Nerf by any means. One thing that is very, very overlooked is automatic wire strippers. That's it. This was 20 bucks, link in the description. And these ones in particular, you can adjust the tension, that little knob right there. That basically adjusts how hard these grips are gripping. You don't really need to adjust them, I found. For silicone wire, silicone's a little more stretchy, so you want to tension it a little bit more. But these are very, very useful. It's very easy to splice into the middle of a wire with this. Literally that was the entire method, as opposed to trying to cut into it with an Exacto knife or a pair of scissors or something. These are a must. I think if you are doing any amount of integrations, you're going to need a decent hot glue gun. He said hot glue gun. Yes, I said hot glue gun. Because you basically want to hold your blasters together temporarily while you align them and make sure everything is solid. And then you go back and secure it, and then you take off the hot glue. I cannot emphasize it enough. Make sure you don't leave the hot glue on there, but I think a good hot glue gun is a necessary thing for integrations. Not really needed if you're doing other things, but it is very useful to have just to tack down some wires or whatever. I think a hot glue gun is a must. This is something that is probably a duh, but many people don't list on their tool kits as per se just because it's such a common tool, but I think it's worth a note. There's debate whether this is actually a tool or not, but I guess cotton swabs are technically a tool, and this goes along with it, but isopropyl alcohol doesn't have to be 70%. This is just what I happen to have. 70%, 90%, doesn't matter. But I think rubbing alcohol should be in everybody's list of things to have. This stuff is very useful for removing hot glue. If you saw my last video, it's very useful for removing any sort of marks or residue or Sharpie, anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and all of your patience with my scatterbrainedness. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.